with your host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcasting live on YouTube and on X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella, and we are wishing you a happy Monday, a happy June, and a happy start of the week here. It's June 2nd, 7:10 in the morning, and we hope we're getting you ready for an electric week. We got a charcuterie board, as we call it, of sports here for the people. NCAA baseball, professional baseball, the NBA finals, the Stanley Cup finals, and maybe some more. So stick with us the entire 30 minutes and get in on the action by commenting live on youtube.com/12OZ Sports or x.com/12OZ Sports. The social media is The Rome Show 1. That's The Rome Show, then the number 1. It's on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. While you watch the entire show, be sure to subscribe there. And of course, if you missed any part of this show, and it's the easiest to listen on a podcast, just go to wherever you listen to your podcast and search The Rome Show podcast. I got some audio for you to start the day. Andrew's going to straight off the Rome here. On this Monday, I saw something yesterday in the NCAA baseball regional that really chapped my gears or really chapped whatever the statement comes after that. Really grinds my gears. I combined the two. It really grinds my gears, as Peter Griffin said on Family Guy. Why? Because they're taking the fun out of the sport of baseball. They are. And what happened yesterday in the Duke baseball game, where one of the best players in the country, is now suspended for game 1 of the Super Regional because of a quote-unquote prop that he had in the dugout while celebrating runs scored by his team in the 8th inning. Here is the head coach for the Dukies and some video evidence of how stupid this rule is. Here you go, head coach Chris Pollard.
In the rule and in the way the rule was interpreted and executed tonight. A.J. Gracia, who's one of the best players in college baseball, hit a home run earlier in the inning to put us within 1 run. We have a celebration in our dugout where we give the construction helmet to the player that makes a big play. It's a symbol of our blue-collar culture, and it's something that we rally around, and it gets our guys excited and creates energy. AJ was wearing the helmet because he had just hit the home run. Later in the inning, Sam Harris hits a single. We score from first on a single to take the lead in the championship game of a regional to go to a super regional. Our guys are undoubtedly.
Before we go on, you can see right now the helmet in this shot right here. Okay, I'm going to rewind slightly. Okay, I'll cut the audio for a second so it doesn't double up. Okay, now watch. This ball gets hit into the right center gap. Okay, runner's going to score from first base. Watch the dugout behind the runner scoring right now. Bam. Okay, you see it to the right of the umpire. It's in his right hand. Left hand fist pump. He's all fired up. He's got the helmet in his right hand. Okay, he's on the warning track. He's 2 steps out of the dugout, okay? I'll let Coach Pollard finish the rest.
Excited, and they should be. And they jump out of the dugout to high-five their teammates as they're running back over to the dugout. AJ still had the helmet on from where he had hit the home run and celebrated. He took 2 steps out of our dugout, not to show anybody up, not to be disrespectful of the game, not to disrespect Oklahoma State, to cheer on his teammate and give him high fives. This rule and this type of action by the umpire are why people get so frustrated with the NCAA. I'm disappointed for A.J. Gracia that he won't play in one of the biggest games of his life. when we start the Super Regional. I'm disappointed for Duke baseball, and I'm disappointed for college baseball. And I want to get that off my chest. And if I get fined, I get fined. But we deserve better than that. AJ Gracia deserves better than that. And our sport deserves better than that.
Go back on my rant from a few weeks ago when I was ejected from our playoff game because I completely disagreed with how the umpire handled the entire situation. Okay. And I said to you on that day, Rome Show podcast, if you ever listen to your podcast, I said to you on that day, the umpires have too much power. Something needs to change in this sport. And right here, Coach Pollard hits it on the head. We are looking at the wrong thing. We are picking apart the wrong rule. We are not allowing these athletes to enjoy the sport as much as they can enjoy the sport because we have umpires that are ruining the sport. Okay. And I don't know if it's just the guys on the field or if it's the rule book also, or if it's the umpire association, but whatever goes on with the umpiring right now in baseball at the college level, it's atrocious. And for now, a kid, arguably one of the best kids on their roster, to be suspended for a super regional game one over that right there, what you just saw on the screen. Coach said it perfectly. He wasn't out there showing the other team up. He wasn't out there hurting people with the prop. You know, a few years ago, they started changing this whole thing because props were being used, okay? Guys had sledgehammers. They'd hit a homer. They'd get a sledgehammer. They'd slam the ground, right? All of these cool things were happening. Well, in typical NCAA fashion, in typical umpires stink fashion, in typical umpires need to readjust how they go about their whole aura here in the game of baseball, we took those props away from the players, okay? And so now you step a toe, an inch, a cleat hair out of the dugout with something in your hand that's perceived to be a prop, you're thrown out and suspended. Okay. And here's the best part. The entire team, though, just so you're aware, the entire team can come out of the dugout. Okay. The guy that hits a homer can hit home plate. He can go run, throw his helmet to the left, throw his helmet to the right. He could throw his helmet in the freaking crowd for all I've seen. And then he can jump up with all 30 dudes on his team. They all go boom, which I hate. I hate it. But that's just me. I'm not hating it for the reasons you would think. I hate it because it's one of those things where like one team does it now and now too many people do it and it's just like not cool anymore. Okay. Like what Duke's got going on here with the hard hat. Really cool. Okay. I think I saw a Major League Baseball team, might be the Boston Red Sox, who were that when they hit a homer, they have a miniature mascot head of the Boston mascot that they put on their head. That's really cool, unique, individualistic. Really just, unique to your team. That's cool to me. Okay. So they removed the prop rule, for whatever reason. Why? I have no clue. Okay. So now if you step outside of the dugout with a prop, you're ejected. But if the entire team comes out of the dugout to all jump up and down and scream boom, and the guy that hits the homer could throw his helmet into the fence, you're good there. Don't worry. You're good there. If you bat flip too high, we can throw you out for that. What are we doing, man? Like, what are we doing? Okay. And we also can't have it both ways. The kid can't slide into second base with a double, pretend to crack open a beer on his head, crack it open on his foot, drink it at second base, then point at the dugout. They all point back. We can't have it both ways. We can't allow that behavior right there, which I think is cool. I'm like, we were on the front end of double celebrations when I was playing college baseball 12, 13, 14 years ago. But we were not on the realm of celebrating that goes on in baseball here now. And listen, I get it, okay? It's a fine line, all right? Because there's a line of too much disrespect where I've seen videos where a kid hits a homer in the third inning and he's chirping the guy at first, he's chirping the guy at second, he's chirping the guy at third as he rounds the bases. Got it. That kid, throw him out of the game. Got it. That kid, he should be ejected and suspended for loser behavior. Okay. But to Coach Pollard's point, you just tied a regional with a homer. Okay. And then subsequently, and then the next 2 to 3 minutes, take the lead in the 8th inning of a regional. And now you're all but 3 outs away from going to a super regional. Something that only, 16 teams get to do? Or whatever the number is, because 8 teams make it to the College World Series, 32 teams go to a super, 16, whatever the number is. It's really small. I think it's 8. We'll look this up. I believe it's 8 make it to the College World Series. So that would mean 16 go to a super. Either way, think about how rare, how minute that is. 360 something college Division I teams in the country, and you're one of 8 or 16, excuse me, to go to a super regional. Doesn't happen every day. That's not like we'll just go to another super next year, and then that kid's good. What? And coach says it best, man. Like, listen, dude, this is what are our umpires doing? What are we doing here? Okay. And part of it's on the umpire, because that guy could have just turned his head. Move on with your life, buddy. Okay. You see the kid. He's not using the prop. He's celebrating. It's clear and obvious. He's excited. It's just in his hand. Okay. Like, move on. Okay. That's an unnecessary place for you to input yourself. Okay. Now, unfortunately, a Duke team heads to the super regional and they're missing one of their best players. Stupid. And it's continuing. The NCAA has some baseball questions to answer, starting with umpires. Andrew Romanello, The Rome Show, 12OZ Sports, live on YouTube and X. Before we get off the college baseball, it has been an electric regional. Okay. Outside of the fact that there's been really good baseball, a lot of mid-major teams making some noise. Murray State right now is in their region final at Ole Miss. Okay. Creighton was battling yesterday. I saw an unbelievable amount of smaller school teams. University of Texas San Antonio won their regional against Texas 7-4 yesterday. Who else? Arkansas Little Rock beat LSU and now have forced a necessary game number, I guess you could call it 2, between those two to see who's going to go to a super regional. St. Mary's lost in the region final in Corvallis. And so you got all over this college baseball postseason a bunch of smaller schools making some noise. And it's been a lot of fun. And so today you're going to get all of those, if necessary, games and the finishing of the regionals over the next 24 hours. And so saddle up, and then next week gets to the super regional. And so far, 4 of the top 16 seeds in the NCAA tournament, including the number 1 overall seed Vanderbilt, have been eliminated from the tournament. Okay, a lot of big names being eliminated from the tournament. So I think this is going to be a wild remainder of the NCAA tournament for college baseball. And I put it on my what you're watching list on Friday, and it is some of the most fun version of baseball you'll ever watch. I think that's why myself and Coach Pollard and others get so annoyed with the umpires that just input themselves stupidly in a game that's already entertaining, that doesn't need anything else brought to the attention of it. And if we never knew an umpire existed today, that'd be the best form of this game. I hope I'm giving you the best form of my game on a Monday. The Rome Show, 12OZ Sports. We'll take a quick commercial break, then we'll come back. I got a light preview for you on the NBA Finals. And then I got a preview for you on the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, tomorrow's Tuesday, and on Tuesday, we're usually joined with Rocky. As you can see today, it's not Rocky time today because he's not here in studio live or in studio virtually, okay? But we must start getting ourselves prepared for Wednesday and for Thursday when the Stanley Cup Finals, Oilers versus Panthers, and then Thursday, the NBA Finals, the Indiana Pacers versus Oklahoma City Thunder get started. So stay with us here on The Rome Show. after this commercial break. And we're going to have a good time, like always. Back after this.
Need tickets to that next event? Well, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got them with soccer anywhere in the world. Tickets to any venue, any sport. Want to go to NCAA or NFL football matches? We've got them.
Yeah.
Baseball at every level. Every Power 5 matchup is available. Don't forget, costumes and paint are optional. What's that? You want to go to Broadway? We have those too. Want to jam out? Every concert, every artist. That's right, at 12 Ounce Sports, we've got the tickets for less. 12ozsports.com/tickets. That's 12ouncesports.com/tickets.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Yeah. The Rome Show. 12ouncesports.com. Broadcasting live on YouTube and X. You can comment live on YouTube and X as well. I'm your host, Andrew Romanella. With you for the next 10 minutes or so. Talking NBA Finals preview. I got to say this before we get going here. I obviously have not spoken to the people since Friday. And man, I am just so sad about the Knicks. Like, I was so happy they forced a game 6. I was so happy that they were in the position that they were in, 25 years or so since their last Eastern Conference final. I'm a New York, New Jersey guy. I had a lot of fun watching this run. Jalen Brunson is must-watch basketball every time he's on the court. And the Knicks, they really showed themselves this season. I truly think that of the last 3 years of the iteration of this team led by Tom Thibodeau and point guarded by Jalen Brunson, this was the least confident, though maybe people considered it most talented because of the trade for Cat. I felt like listening to sports talk radio. This seemed to be the least confident Knicks fans were going into a postseason in each of the last 3 years. It's almost like, though they should have been more confident going into this postseason, they weren't because they knew that the team wasn't as good defensively, maybe wasn't as gritty as some of the last two teams, okay? And they weren't as consistent. And so even though they make it farther than they've had in the last 2 years, 3 seasons now, since this one's over, you had less of a good feeling going into it. And so I feel like it was this wild scenario where all of a sudden you're watching the Knicks in the first round of the playoffs. You're like, all right, okay, yeah. They should get past the first round of the playoffs. They should win this series and move on with their lives. They did that. Then you get to the defending champions and you're like, all right, we could see it ending here, and that's okay with us. And it's like, well, yes, but this team is good enough to beat this team in 4 of the 7 games that they have a potential opportunity to play. Well, and you know what? Though in unnatural fashion, okay? And so your house money at that point, and you go into the series with the Pacers, and your balloon is so inflated. It feels good. Okay. Knicks fans that didn't believe now believe, all excited. You blow a 20-point lead in the first game, and that's it. And I think it's sad now to think about the way the season ended for them, because you should be more excited based on what happened, but it's really hard to get the taste out of your mouth that if you could have just closed out game number 1, are we talking about a Knicks Thunder finals right now? And I really do think you could be. Okay? And so for me, a general basketball fan, I'm super disappointed that the Knicks didn't make it this far. But I got to tell you, Indiana and Oklahoma City is going to be a fantastic basketball series. Okay? I'm going to wait till the day of game number 1 to make my predictions, but here's some information on this series for you. Okay? The Pacers, they beat the Knicks in 6. The Thunder, they beat the Wolves in 5. So not a huge difference in terms of the rest in these series, though Oklahoma City does have a sweep in this postseason. The Pacers do not. This series starts on Thursday night, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be the best scorer on the floor. He averages 29.8 points per game in the postseason. That's good for 3rd overall out of every team that's been in the postseason. He makes 10.2 field goals per game, good for 4th overall in the postseason, and he's averaging essentially 7 assists per game, good for 6th overall in the postseason. Make no bones about it, okay? When you're playing the Thunder, there's 2 things you need to do, okay? You need to slow SGA down and force everybody else to beat you, okay? Now, they are good enough. There are good enough players on this Thunder team to score 15, 20, and make up for a not great night for SGA. But number 1 goal, if you're the Pacers, is slow SGA down. Okay? And then 2, find a way to break through that defense because it's the best defense in the league. For the Pacers, it is a full team mode type of situation, okay? The best scorer they have on their team is 19th best in the postseason, and that's Pascal Siakam at 21.1 points per game. Tyrese Halliburton's averaging like 19.5, which ain't bad because he's averaging 9.8 assists per game, which is best in the postseason, okay? Then Aaron Naismith is the best three-point shooter left in the postseason at 50%, making nearly 3 a game, okay? Indy's offense, second best in the postseason scoring wise, 117.4. So though OKC has the best scorer left in the postseason, Indiana plays electric team basketball and they want to run. Okay. So if you're Oklahoma City, your number 1 goal is to slow this team down. Okay. And there's no one guy you keen on here when you're looking at the Pacers. Okay. It is a move the basketball, find the open shot, trust everybody and their ability type of offense. And they want to get the legs going. So the Thunder need to slow them down, okay, dramatically, and force them to make everything inside the 3-point line, okay? And I think that could be a recipe for success. But I think it's 2 athletic, younger teams, hungry. Both franchises don't have a championship in the history of their time. And 2 emerging superstars, one that just got named the MVP of the league this year. So this NBA Finals is going to be sweet. And it starts on Thursday, some more time this week to break it down. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to hold off on our Stanley Cup preview till tomorrow when Rocky joins us. It's the Panthers. It's the Oilers. It's a rematch of the 2024 Stanley Cup Finals. And it gives you 4 of the top 5 goal scorers in the postseason. McDavid, 26 point getters in the postseason. McDavid, 26, Draisaitl, 25, Nugent Hopkins, 18. And then the guy from Alexander Barkov from the Florida Panthers at 17. 4 of the top 5 point getters in the postseason are now remaining. And arguably one of the best top 3 goalies in the league, Sergei Bobrovsky, who's only given up 2.1 goals a game. And he's got the most wins in the postseason at 12. So this is a Another awesome series. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the team name. Oh, Edmonton versus Florida. Yeah. Edmonton versus Florida. You are about to watch some fast, hard hitting, definitely from one side of the fence. A really good goaltending, coached series that definitely could go 7. You're about to watch the same in the hardwood. What you're getting in the NBA Finals coming up and what you're about to get in the Stanley Cup Finals coming up, I feel like mirror each other. Hungry AF teams that play really good team sport, are really well coached, and are super athletic. And it's going to be exciting. So we'll save the rest of the NHL for tomorrow with Rocky. Quickly, just so you are aware, the Colorado Rockies are atrocious. They're the worst team in the history of baseball since 1900, which would be considered the modern era of baseball. They are the 3rd fastest team in the history of time, as you can see on this picture on the screen right now, to reach 50 losses. They are 9-50. They've had 4 8-game losing streaks this season, and of 20 series played this year, they've lost 10. This is terrible. This cannot happen. This is the type of stuff that kills your sport, okay? And if you are the Colorado Rockies, if you're Major League Baseball, something has to be done here, okay? And I think this is a small example of a greater league issue with the salary cap or lack thereof. And how if we make some changes to the luxury tax or add a salary tax or add a minimum or something has to be looked at here to where a team cannot be what the Colorado Rockies are right now. And by the way, what the White Sox were last year, what we thought the White Sox were going to be, and what a lot of these teams have been the last 3 or 5 years. Like, why are teams so bad? So bad. Because the financials are so skewed between each organization. It's almost impossible, especially in today's day and age, for a team to not be atrocious comparative to the big money spenders in Major League Baseball. The Rome Show, 12OZ Sports. We're live, YouTube and X. We hope you enjoyed the program today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Rocky joins us around 7:10, 7:15 for all the latest in the National Hockey League. Follow the social medias, The Rome Show 1, wherever you get your social media. Miss any part of the show, the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, just search The Rome Show Podcast. Until tomorrow, Andrew Romanello, you have an electric Monday. And peace.
Thank you for listening.